Hi guys, every David.
You better not put that on. Don't.
Shut up, bird. What? Oh, we're doing a video. Hi guys, OB Dave here.
And I am Ash. You better not put that on.
Why not?
Because I'll hate you forever.
Ash did something funny.
No, he was being weird.
Oh no, I'm not putting all that kissing stuff on. That was weird.
No, you were
Even
being
I found
weird.
that weird.
You were being weird. He said I wasn't kissing him back. And I was. And I was like, so I was trying to prove a point by saying if I was just doing what he called dead lips, then it wouldn't make a noise. I wouldn't make the noise. Because that's me moving.
I didn't hear noise.
Because you got your headphones on. You could barely hear me anytime, even without your headphones. You zone me out.
I wish. Right. Oh no, in fact it was Fat Files, not Fat Electrician.
Yeah.
Where he talked about...
It was oh my god, I've gone blank, but I wanted to see the cheese bunkers. The raisin bunkers.
The raisin tax.
Raisin cartel.
Yeah, the raisin cartel. I desperately wanted to say cheese because this one's about cheese.
This is, I could remember because all I wanted to do was watch the cheese one. But
yeah.
It was really fascinating about the raisin cartels. And do you know what? I think about it every time I put a box of raisins in Oscar's packed lunch. I think, little raisin cartel lunch.
I like raisins. I had chocolate raisins today for breakfast.
Jesus.
I'd already been at work for like 3 hours at that point.
And?
I'm just saying. Anyway, America's secret underground cheese bunkers.
Cheese.
We've watched one episode of a documentary about death row. We watched an episode last night, and after this we're gonna watch another episode. What was it called?
Death Row. I think it was. It's like it's on Death Row.
It is fascinating.
So
It actually follows the people on the build-up and interviews them days before and stuff, and
they
follows the case and the family and the victims and stuff.
It's compelling.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there. If anyone's seen it, it's unbelievable.
But I have to sing.
Don't sing because we're
cheese
already...
is a tasty beef.
Oh, right, okay.
A tasty yellow beef. I milk it from my teats. Mmm, cheese. Mmm, cheese. You must know the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah, I know the Mighty Boosh.
And he's the little cheese man that loves cheese. And he literally sings that whole song about cheese is a tasty beef. A tasty yellow beef. He milks it from his teat. If you don't know it, literally Google or YouTube, Mighty Boosh, cheese. He milks it from
America's secret underground cheese bunkers.
This has almost nothing to do with the U.S. military, but it's so ridiculous I can't not talk about it. Today we're talking about America's strategic cheese reserve. Yeah, if you didn't know, the United States currently has over 500 underground cave warehouses spanning across 35 different states, the largest of which is underneath Springfield, Missouri, where America, as of August 2022, currently hoards 1.5 billion pounds of cheese. And just for the record, I realize I'm uploading this video very close to April Fool's Day. This is not an April Fool's joke. I am 100% serious. El Dorado is real, and Uncle Sam made it out of cheese.
Look, El Dorado, the city of gold.
And I know what you're thinking. Right now, you're like, wow, that's a cool little factoid. I can't wait to share that with my buddy at the bar one day. But no, this is gonna infect your thoughts for the rest of your life. You're never gonna see the world through the same lens ever again. I mean, for example, let's just say you're at home watching The Walking Dead. You're gonna come to the realization there'd be way more fucking cheese in the apocalypse than that, okay? You're never gonna be able to watch Mad Max again without thinking about cheese. You have to come to the terrifying realization that you live in a world where there is a greater than 0% chance that one of these underground cheese caves gets mistaken for a government facility and gets nuked in World War III, and we're gonna have to deal with a radioactive tsunami wave of nacho cheese. And this is real life. So I asked myself one question: how on earth did America get to this point? Because I know it didn't happen overnight. And what I found was the craziest real-world example of a butterfly effect that I have ever seen. And believe it or not, it all actually ties back in with last week's video of the ice cream ships of World War II. If you missed that, the super abbreviated version, basically the US government banned alcohol during Prohibition refrigeration in the 1920s. Because of that, all the bars in America turned themselves into ice cream parlors to stay in business. Ice cream stepped up to fill the social void left by alcohol. If so facto, there was like 2 generations of Americans that treated ice cream like it was alcohol, socially speaking. As I'm sure you can imagine, this would drive up dairy consumption. Combine that with the fact that the 30s and
So
That's
it's
mental.
getting into the story here. I thought we might have had a moment to pause it.
No, because he's talked about his last video, so we could have probably paused it during then because we haven't
Yeah.
seen his other video. But can I just point out, this is clearly an older video. He's got beefed up after the fact.
You think he's beefier now?
Beefier now,
He's
100%.
He's definitely got like bigger arms, and it's kind of like,
He looks more dad bod.
okay.
I'm just saying, it's the same as like most YouTubers. I mean, I'm not going to go that way. I'm too lazy. But even like Matt Carricker started off as like the skinny little guy, and then he's become like super beefed up and does lots of workouts.
I've just got more and more jacked since I started YouTubing 5 years ago.
You have actually. You work outdoors with construction though, so I'm lazy.
Should we get back into it? Okay. I was going to say something as well, but you just... Yeah, actually, what he was saying about this will be in your thoughts. I did this one at the Office Blokes years ago. I cite it to people all the time.
Did you?
That America's got bunkers full of cheese. I don't remember any of the story other than the fact that the bunkers exist and they're full of cheese.
Okay. Well, they're £1.6 million worth of cheese. 3.5 billion.
Not money.
I said pounds as in weight, and
You
I
said
literally
pounds
just
worth.
pounds of cheese, and then I said $3.5 million worth of cheese. Is what it said. That's what it said.
God, you're sassy tonight. Jesus.
generations of Americans that treated ice cream like it was alcohol, socially speaking. As I'm sure you can imagine, this would drive up dairy consumption. Combine that with the fact that the 30s and 40s is when refrigeration would become readily accessible, meant that for the first time in human history, there was such a demand for dairy products that farmers could exclusively become dairy farmers, meaning that this would be the birth of the entire dairy industry. And honestly, it worked out great. Right up until it didn't in 1949. 1949, 4 years after World War II, the American military is downsized, there's not an entire horde of young men eating 10,000 calories a day, and America's not exporting anywhere near as much food to other countries for war relief, meant that there was a decrease in dairy consumption, or a dip in the dairy market. As this became a bigger and bigger problem, the government had to step in because they weren't about to let the entire dairy industry implode, because, I mean, let's face it, that would be utter catastrophe. So the USDA stepped in and said, hey, you know what, we're gonna buy all the excess milk. Okay, pause. Thought experiment. You're a dairy farmer. You make all of your money by selling milk. And then suddenly, a couple years back, motherfuckers quit drinking milk, aka you made less money. Now the government has come out of left field and said, hey, we're gonna buy all of the milk. What do? You make more fucking milk. And that's exactly what happened. So just to be clear, there was already too much milk. Now there's definitely gonna be too much milk. So naturally, all the milk starts flowing in. The government has absolutely no idea what to do with it, so they turn it into cheese, that way it doesn't expire. That part makes sense, but now what do you do with all the cheese? They have no clue, so they just throw it underneath a mountain, ignore it, and hope the problem goes away. But it doesn't go away.
How many people are on welfare, you know, like government handouts and need help and stuff?
And instead they're buying raisins and buying cheese and milk.
Yeah, everyone a month gets a kilo of cheese and a kilo of raisins from the government for free. That's on welfare. Start chipping away at those reserves. Is it just cheddar?
I don't
Like,
think
what
so.
type of
Probably
cheese is
American
it?
cheese, probably.
Because
I don't know.
If it's just one type of cheese, I'm upset by that. If there's some camemberts lying around, if there's some cheddar, if there's some
the
Gouda.
thing is that a lot of the viewers, people will stay on welfare and poor and not contribute to, you know, taxes and general, you know, community if you were giving them free stuff. And they're not entirely wrong. It's not, it's like there's obviously the minority, but the majority tend to pick themselves up, dust themselves off and go, well, you've helped out, I'm going to move on. But there's also, and we have it in this country, how many generations have stuck on benefits?
No one wants to work anymore.
It's disgusting.
So are you saying we should give them free cheese?
No, I'm saying shouldn't.
Shouldn't?
No.
I actually think instead of giving money that can be spent on anything, i.e. drugs, alcohol, blah, 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 cheese.
What are they going to do with it? Sell it.
Eat it.
They're going to sell it for the money. Money makes the world go round. When you want something, you're going to find a way to get the money.
What
That's
do you
why
need to
people
survive?
go into drugs.
What do you need to survive?
Food. But people
Shelter,
don't care about...
water.
We give people free housing.
Yeah, and here's some food.
And they'll sell it so they can do what they want.
Can you imagine crackheads everywhere just going around selling cheese?
That's...
I was actually going to do a line from a movie then, but it's cheeseburgers, not cheese. I don't know. Don't know what's going on with you today.
No clue, so they just throw it underneath a mountain, ignore it, and hope the problem goes away. But it doesn't go away because every single presidential administration through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, they all continue to buy up excess milk to prop up the dairy industry, turn it into cheese, and stash it away in these caves. It literally turns into a giant political game of kick the can down the road because nobody wants to be the president that crashes the global economy by not buying enough milk while sitting on top of a mountain of cheese, which, understandable, I don't want to be that guy either. Then, fast forward to 1980, Ronald Reagan, aka the small government guy, gets elected, finds out that the US government is sitting on top of 500 million pounds of cheese and spending $1 million a day to refrigerate and store it.
Looks like
and he
Buddha.
looks at this whole issue like a beaver looks at running water. Absolutely fucking not. We can't have it. So his administration goes about figuring out the cheapest way to solve this cheese problem. Obviously, we're going to throw it all in the ocean. However, having at least the foresight to understand that that would cause political backlash, he wanted to see how the public would receive it, so someone from his administration shows up to a White House press conference with a 5-pound block of moldy cheese and is like, hey, we got 500 million pounds of this shit. How would you guys feel if we threw it in the ocean? It'll be fun. We'll save money on cheese. We're going to find out if blue whales are lactose intolerant. It's going to be a great science experiment. The public did not go for it. They kind of felt like, hey, I've paid taxes for the last 40 years. You've turned those taxes into cheese. I would at least like the cheese. So then the Reagan administration took the 55-gallon drums of cheese, cut it up into 5-pound blocks, packaged it, and spent the remainder of his administration funneling 300 million pounds of cheese into impoverished and elderly homes. And this is where we get the saying, government cheese, from.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
The US government would then continue to give out government cheese until the 1990s when they seemingly ran out because as of today, all 1.5 billion pounds of underground secret cheese in America is privately owned by corporations like Kraft and Velveeta. And this is the part where I wanted to end the video on a happy note of the government made a mistake, they fixed a mistake over 50 years, happy ending. Hooray. However, it didn't really make sense because something happened in the 1990s where the government was able to stop buying the excess milk. What happened? And that's when it hit me. It was absolutely the Got Milk ad campaign, the biggest, most iconic ad campaign of all time. I mean, every cafeteria and every school in America had a bunch of posters of famous athletes with milk mustaches saying, "Got milk, drink your milk." I vividly remember commercials as a child telling me that if I didn't drink enough milk, my arms would literally fall off my body.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
No, that's not good.
Got milk.
Surely this is what inspired an entire generation of...
Sorry about that.
That gulp, gulp, gulp,
No,
gulp.
I put it backwards. I didn't mean to put it backwards. But, did I not get you there?
No, I sit next to your kids when we're eating.
Got me in the soul. That was disgraceful. Jesus
Have you
Christ.
got goosebumps?
It just hurt. It really genuinely upset me, that.
Americans to eat and drink more dairy products, right? I mean, yeah, probably, but looking back on it now as an adult, doesn't it seem just a little bit weird that it wasn't a particular company putting on all these ads? Like, if there wasn't one company profiting from selling all this milk, where was all the money coming from? I mean, it almost seems like the government launched a giant psychological operation, ad campaign, just so that they could offload milk so they wouldn't have to keep contributing to their mountain of cheese. Well, I'm going to take this off now because that's legit exactly what happened. In 1995, the U.S. government created a non-profit organization known as Dairy Management Incorporated, and their entire job was to get the American people to eat and drink more dairy products. Literally a cabal of individuals plotting behind the scenes to get people to eat more cheese. It's the cheesiest conspiracy of all time. And I'm not even kidding. Anything that has ever been sold or marketed that involved way too much cheese on it, this company is behind. Okay, they're the reason that Taco Bell started selling steak quesadillas. They were behind the Got Milk ad campaign. In 2002, when Pizza Hut had the Summer of Cheese event where they put way too much cheese on all their pizzas, this is who was behind it. In 2010, when Domino's almost went out of business, they gave Domino's $12 million to stay in business and then gave them a bunch of cheese so that they could put extra cheese on all of their pizzas, and that was their entire proposition for staying in business. Hey, our pizzas have more cheese on them now, so they're good. It is absolutely insane. So I did it. I found the world's cheesiest conspiracy, but then I found leaked internal documents from DMI. And they are the funniest fucking thing I have ever read in my entire life. I'm gonna go ahead and read one for you now. It's a letter from Pizza Hut to DMI regarding a meeting they recently had. July 6, 1999. Dear Greta, we wanted to express our thanks once again for a wonderful meeting last week. We appreciate your team taking the time to share some very valuable information and creativity during our brainstorming session. Everyone is very excited about the presentation you gave regarding DMI's available resources and cheese industry insights. We look forward to working together to develop many cheese ideas we've discussed. We believe this is going to be a valuable partnership for both Pizza Hut and DMI. Let's sell more pizza and more cheese! Exclamation point. Thank you again for coming to Dallas. We look forward to talking to you soon about our partnership
and
opportunities.
Lord of the cheese.
We will call you next week to discuss the next steps. Sincerely, Derek, Lord of the Cheese, and Liskren, Lady of the Cheese. Even they know that this is a fucking joke. Why is this such a joke? Well, because Dairy Management Incorporated, while it is a non-profit, they don't actually have to raise money for themselves like most non-profits do, because they're also a government checkoff program, which means every dairy farmer in America is legally required, whether they want to or not, to send this company money so that they can advertise on their behalf. And their annual budget is like $140 million a year, with their CEO and top level executives all making right around $1 million per year. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you there is a group of people in America getting paid $1 million to convince Americans that cheese is awesome. Okay, that's like trying to fucking explain to Stevie Wonder what nothing looks like and getting paid $1 million for it. He already fucking knows that, okay? It makes no goddamn sense. Cheese is so fucking good that it is the one thing on earth that if you were allergic to it, we're not going to say you have a cheese allergy. No, you're lactose intolerant. We're not going to say you're allergic because we all know you're going to eat that shit anyways because the consequences are worth it. Am I upset right now? A little bit. Is it because I'm jealous? Uh-huh. It's basically selling ass candles to dogs and getting paid $1 million for it. It is the most ridiculously easy job on the planet, and I'm so mad that it's not mine. Anyways, I guess if you made it this far in the Unhinged TED Talk, in conclusion, the U.S. government banned alcohol in the 1920s. It set forth a ripple effect through time, and now some dude in 2023 has my dream job of making $1 million a year to convince people of some shit they already knew, and the US has 1.5 billion pounds of cheese hidden in an underground cave network. Fucking the more you know, I guess. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang. Out. I'm gonna go eat some fucking cheese. I'm gonna be honest with you, I take a little bit of pride in the fact that I don't think I've ever
See how much beefier he's got?
That's another video.
I know, but this is a more recent one. He is a lot beefier.
Yeah, there you go.
And he doesn't do an ending in his old videos.
Is it not just one of the most ridiculous things you've ever heard?
So ridiculous.
I get propping up industries because governments do it. They used to subsidise farming in the UK.
But they're subsidising the wrong bloody shit.
But you do have to let capitalism do its thing sometimes. And if less people are consuming milk, then those farmers that weren't all exclusively dairy farmers might need to pivot a little bit to other things as well.
Yeah. Like fresh fruit and veg.
Just, I mean, whatever. Like, it's a business. And when everyone's eating ice cream constantly, let's move over to milk. And then everyone stops and you kind of go, well, what are people eating? What are people consuming? And then let's go for that.
Exactly.
If you can grow it in your climate.
Exactly.
But it's just madness. It just shows how governments work, though, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It's just $1 million a year to be a lord of cheese.
Lord and Lady Cheese.
It is.
I love that he said it's selling ass candles to dogs.
Yeah. It's just crackers, though,
It's
isn't it?
just ridiculous. Like, why? Why would you think storing it like that was such a good idea? But they were giving it away. They were giving it to obviously impoverished areas, like they said, and to elderly.
Did you get the joke about Reagan where he said, like, £500,000 of crack? Oh, I mean, cheese.
Yeah, I did. I heard that.
Because it was him that started the war on drugs, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then around that time, did the crack epidemic start around Reagan, or was it
think
shortly
so.
after? It's just crackers. It's crackers. Cheese and crackers, actually.
Cheese and
there
crackers.
you go. And we actually have a nice camembert in the fridge for tomorrow with some rippy, dippy breads to go with it.
It is. In the shape of a heart.
There's
'Cause
nothing
I-
better than a baked camembert with some cured meats
And some tear and share.
and some tear and share bread.
I know.
Oh, my God.
It's our little Valentine's, post-Valentine's, because we have the kids here tonight. But
It's true. It's true.
we'll celebrate tomorrow.
All I want you to do for me right now before we end the video is just comment below with your favourite cheese.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That is it.
Mine.
That's it, just out of curiosity.
Mine's Stilton. The smelly cheese. The blue cheese. Yeah, I know you don't like it. I like the smelly blue cheese.
Do you know what I really like?
Go on.
A garlic roll.
Ooh, a roulette is nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Moisson is one of my favourites. That little curly one with
Yeah,
all the...
yeah.
Oh, it's so good on crackers.
Yeah. That's probably one of my favourite ones because it's creamy, it's cheesy, it's garlicky.
It's good.
But I love a baked camembert. You cannot beat it with like whole garlic cloves
We
just
did it-
in it before it gets baked.
We
and then
did
you
it
just-
at a fancy restaurant and it was black garlic cloves. It was so good. But me, it's Stilton.
Just let us know your favourite cheese. That's all you need to do. Doesn't have to be fancy, but I just want to know.
Yeah. Could be as simple as you just like a bit of Gouda.
Cheddar. I've been to Cheddar. On that note, we will catch you next time, guys. Cheers.
Bye.